Hello, my homeowners and my real estate investor friends. This is Ken Renner coming at you from Liberty Hill, Texas, here to talk to you about the market here in Central Texas, including Austin. And also, we're going to cover some of the big news that's happening just north of us in the Central Texas, Bell County, with about $5 billion worth of construction going on data centers. But we're going to start with a mid-year review. It's now July of 2026, and we've definitely looks like we're seeing the light. It's turned the corner here in Austin. We're starting to see definitely some good stats. That finally good news that we've had. It's been a difficult couple of years. Obviously, we had our peak of in 2022, June of 2022, of about the peak of the market was, I believe, it's about 683,000 was the highest priced, and then of course we saw a precipitous drop. But we're going to go over those, kind of look at some stats in with actual real case examples. But we're going to start with some of the good news here. We've got a median sales price at 450. That's for the 5 county area around the Austin Round Rock area. So you're talking about like Williamson, Travis, Caldwell, Bastrop, and some interest in Hayes. And that actually was looking really interesting, the Hayes County stats. So we're going to cover some of these things as we go through. Taking a look at the median sales price, up 1%, which is good news. It's about 93%. So it's 94% is the average close to list price. So people are still, even if they're listing it at 500,000, they're still looking at taking, almost 8%, 7 to 8% off that, or 6%, let's call it. So off the top. And then that's the average. Then we also have 4.4 months of inventory, which is down a month from last year, which is good to see. The market starting to definitely is stabilizing. Active listings are down substantially from last year, down to 13,000. 13,000 is still a lot of listings, though, for our city, and so but the 4.4 months is indicative of us having a more stable buyer seller market. For the city of Austin, city limits of Austin, we're actually looking at some good numbers here. We're back up to 605,000 on the median sales price, and up almost 4% from the previous year, which is good news for those that are trying to sell. Also, the average close to list price ratio has gone up about a full percent to 94.5. So you're looking at about, if you're trying to sell your house 605, you're going to be looking at taking maybe $30,000 off that. So you're looking at the 570 range. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But good to see that they're up 4% from year over year. Closed sales are up 4.6%. The sales volume's up 8%. 4.3 months for the city of Austin on the months of inventory. Also like to see the uptick in pending sales as well. So if you're trying to sell, this might be, and you need to sell, then this is the time that maybe consider taking advantage of the momentum in the market. One county's stats that I see that caught my attention is the median sales price for Hayes County. That's down south, pretty much South Austin towards Buda, Kyle, and San Marcos, is up 9% median sales price year over year. That's incredible trajectory there. Glad to see where Hayes County is coming back on a recovery mode, pretty strong. And then Williamson County, which includes the high-tech corridor, the Round Rock, Cedar Park, Leander, Liberty Hill, Georgetown. That's basically flat. It's a little bit up a little bit less than 1% from last year. Its close to price ratio has actually gone down. It's a little softer market here in Williamson County. But the good news, inventory is low, so we're going to probably see those prices starting to adjust up because we only have 1.2 months or 3.7 months, which is down 1.2 months in supply or months of inventory since last year. Our pending sales are up 14.5%, seeing a much more active market than it was last year. So those are good indicators and good news that we've turned the corner. Now, taking a look at a typical median price house and what's gone on the history, I'm using Zillow's estimate, but not because it's always that accurate, but because it's a fun graphic and it does kind of show the trends, even though their valuations are not always right. For instance, I just ran comps on this house. It should be about 525,000, not 497,000. So anyways, we can see what happened. Actually, this house is a home that I own, and it's on the golf course. It's basically indicative of a medium price house. so so 497 is their estimate. I my CMA comes in at 525. But either way, this is we're looking. If you bought 8 years ago, you're paying about 300,000, and it peaked at almost 700,000. So that's a substantial increase. So from pandemic beginning to pandemic peak was about a 50% increase in value, and then we've dropped down about 20% from the peak of 2022, and now we're stable. So actually been pretty stable for the last year or so, right in that 500 range, a little bit higher, a little bit lower, just pretty bouncing along as a typical what it was before the pandemic. So the pandemic bump definitely helped a lot of people, but also hurt those that bought in late 2022, mid to late 2022. So those are hard conversations I'm having every week with people who rode the market down. I've owned this house since 2005, and I think I paid 170,000 for it. So obviously, over time, real estate, whether it's Austin or anywhere else, over time the values are very advantageous here, and it's always a good investment. So when you're looking at if you buy it and hold it for the long term. So so that's kind of the story that we're looking at is right now we're back into about medium price 500,000. Now we're going to explore another market of mine that I've been actively working for the better part of a decade here. And so it's not just Austin. We've done quite well, especially pre-pandemic. Anybody about pre-pandemic is doing well here in Austin. Georgetown got named the fastest growing city of in the nation last year. So it's interesting. And the reason is people moving out of Austin to get to more of a suburb style. And then you've got the Santa Rita Ranch where I live, which is in Liberty Hill. They're all the kind of Leander, Georgetown, Liberty Hill all come together here off of 183. And so that's your high tech corridor. But so we just looked at a couple of houses, and we looked at my house in Avery Ranch, which is basically a medium price house. So right now, Temple, Texas, interestingly enough, the median price is about 260,000. So it's less. It's basically half of what the price is in the city of Austin, and so that's a big deal, and that's why they have so many people moving to Temple, Texas. It's only 45 minutes north of Georgetown. In fact, it's only I think I can get to Temple Belton quicker than I can get to downtown Austin. So so when you're on the north side, it definitely helps. But really, people do commute from Temple because you can get such a nice house for such a decent price. And then, of course, the rents are also pretty solid. That's why our investors do so well in the area. Is that we're seeing rents almost as high as for the same square footage as we're seeing in the Austin area. So it's getting close, and so the prices are double, but the rents are almost about the same. So that's why we like to invest in this area. It's still really a great investment. So we, of course, if you've been following me at any period of time, you know that we are heavily invested in Temple for a number of reasons. Part of it's because of its central location, and also, but the big part of it is jobs and lots of them. And so starting with the Scott and White Hospital and Temple College and VA Hospital, that's kind of the epicenter of down south of the Temple proper. So you've got the VA Hospital, and then you've got, which has, I think, 1.5 million hospital visits a year. And then you got 2 million visits with the Scott and White, Baylor Scott and White. So you got lots and lots of employees. You can see the parking lots are full. Then you've got Temple College, another let's see, a training center here. This is a Texas A&M. I believe it's a nursing college. And then you have the McLean's Children's Hospital. So lots of jobs, lots of people running around in scrubs. That's a big central employment hub, and a lot of our properties that we have bought are over here. Like we've been working in Lennar at the ridge of Knob Creek, and we've got other ones that are close by that we cherry pick brand new construction starting in the 210s, even under 210,000, but between 200 and 230 brand new construction. And so that's kind of what we target. Plus, also you have a couple of different things. You have the distribution centers that are all up here in the north side of the temple proper. And the distribution centers are, well, because it's logistics. So once again, medical logistics, and then also Fort Hood, which is the largest military base in the United States as far as the size of its square miles. So got a lot of people that'll commute the 25 minutes or so to Temple to get to better schools, and also West Temple is doing really well. So we have several properties in that area, and I put them on my that are available, that are my properties of the week. But one of the things that's really opened up a whole new angle for both buying and renting is the $5 billion in data centers being built. So there are $5 billion in data centers being built, and that means there's thousands of construction workers going to be working for the next couple of years in this area to build these data centers. Now, once they're finished, obviously data centers are not big job hubs, because they're basically, they run on their own. So you may have 50 or 70 employees in this big giant building, but the investment and also the time while they're being built, so they got to live somewhere. So we're really seeing a good uptick in our in our occupancy ratios. If you own properties up here and you're not getting them leased, let us know, because we have systems in place. We have waiting lists on certain properties for these for our homes, because we have a massive marketing system that the other property managers just don't have up there. They're kind of really antiquated in how they do their business and marketing. But really like Temple and Belton. Got your lakes over here, lots of recreation, and it's also much more laid back. So close to where we also like to invest, which is one of them, is here in Ridgett Knob Creek, which have sold 3 or 4 this summer so far in there. A new subdivision by Lennar. You've got here's the Rowan data center site. It's actually much larger than that. It's 700 acres, and this is just the start of it. And 700 acres is almost a square mile, to put that in perspective. So it's only a mile from some of the areas that we invest in, and also for homeowners as well. And so we also have Meta is building their data center, and it should be done by next year. And that's up here on the north side of Temple, and kind of the northwest side of Temple. And so that's a $800 million facility. Rowan's is supposed to be potentially turned into, they have several different phases they're building into 2029, which apparently could be as much as 2.1 billion. So it's interesting to see the data center, though it's not, like I said, long-term employment, but it is definitely a player to get things going. Also, this is Encore power. That's one of the things that they need, is power, and so it's sitting right there. Okay, another one that's interesting is as OpenAI is building a huge data center out about 30 minutes east of our homes, and in a little town called near Burlington and Rosebud. These are very little teeny towns, a couple dozen people living here, but you've got your data center here, and this is another 700 acre. This is OpenAI's and SB Soft's. They've got $1 billion invested in this as well, and so that's another 700 acres and another almost square mile of data center going in. So all in all, the Temple's becoming actually a very large player in the footprint of the digital landscape. So that's good news. I like to see the diversification into to tech for Temple, and part of it is because the land and is affordable, and the government is pro development. So taking a look now at a typical property, another one that I own, and this one is in Alta Vista, which is in the good school district, and it was $240,000 is what it 1,600 square foot, pretty typical of a medium priced sized house. The actual median price right now in Temple throughout the area is about 260,000. So, like I said, it's less than half the cost of living in a home in Austin proper. So, taking a look here at this estimate, up 50% in the last 7 years. That's good to know. So, back in pre-pandemic, 2020, we're looking at about 168,000 was the price. So, we did have our run up from there to about $100,000 in appreciation over the run up to the top. But if you notice, this one did not have the big drop. It's been very steady, and that's why we invested in Temple and still continue to do so, is because it's very stable. It's affordable. The rents are affordable. They ours stay occupied. We're, like I said, we're very cognizant of getting these things leased. So even if you're managed by somebody else, we still will help you if you bought a property from me and getting it leased. So, cool little home, and so that's our latest stats are about 240,000. I bought this house in 2017 for like 145,000. So, it's up $100,000 in 10 years. That's a decent return as far as I'm concerned. And in the meantime, my tenants are paying off my mortgage, so I'm good with that. So anyways, that's our update, and I'll be also including the property of the week here. Here's my latest listing. This house is a really nice house in Santa Rita Ranch. This is in the Austin area. 2,380 square foot for $439,500. You can buy it furnished or unfurnished. And it's been 13 days on Zillow. So let's take a look at some of the pictures. Really is a nice house. Very well decorated. I said fully furnished if you want to buy. It's great for a mid-term rental for corporate housing or traveling nurses, or you could do a regular lease or second home. And a nice thing would be able to do something that's turnkey like that, where you don't have to worry about decorating or buying appliances. All this is included, even the silverware in the drawers. So 440,000, and so a really, really nice house. It's actually got a pond, lake view, water view from upstairs, overlooking from upstairs. You can see the pond that they have behind there, but it's on a green belt. There it is. There's even a little bit of a water view. That's really cool. So that one is available now, and if you're interested in talking more about midterm rentals and other options other than just buying a home that's furnished or unfurnished, I'll be glad to talk to you about that. Okay, so this property is a short sale. She owes more than what we're have it on here listed for. This is in Round Rock. This is near Samsung in the east side of the northeast side of the Austin Metro. It's a nice house. It was built in 2016, so it's 10 years old. And right now it's a short sale, so anybody's guess on what the bank will actually take for it. It's been on the market for a long time, and really they're just ready to move on with life. And so yeah, it's a 1,745 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And so, throw out an offer and see what they bring you. I'd be more than happy to present anything. And so, good looking house for sure. Granite countertops and 42-inch cabinets, luxury vinyl floors. It's got hard surfaces in the bathrooms. So overall, nice house, nice yard. So that one's available for anybody up for grabs. Now for my property of the week up in Temple, we have this home for 278, 1,527 square feet. Nice house, also built just a few years ago. luxury vinyl plank, nicer fixtures, granite countertops, tile backsplash in the showers. So that's 278. You can see it's 1,500 square foot. It's substantially less than the median price in Austin by far. That is about the median price. The median price is 260, so 278, that price range. But anyways, that is 1902 Bayou Wood Lane, and once again listed for 278,000 for just under 1,600 square feet. All right, hey, this is Ken Renner. I hope you like this Central Texas and Austin and Temple roundup for the mid year here in middle of July. So if you're interested in learning more about either investing or selling one of your properties, so we'd be more than happy to talk to you to help make that transition a smooth one for you. 512-423-5626. I look forward to chatting with you soon.